All right, so I have this little nightstand that I'm redoing. It's a laminate nightstand, not a very expensive thing, and the laminate kind of got damaged on it a little bit, so I thought I'd redo it and repurpose it. So I decided to spray paint everything a semi-gloss black. You can see here, semi-gloss black, the whole entire thing. And then I would do the top of the nightstand a really cool and fun acrylic pour, which you can see right here. Sorry for the glare on it from the lights. And the acrylic pour part came out really cool. You can see it right there in the middle. However, I decided to put the acrylic paint, the black, around the outside, and it didn't come out so great. It's all kind of blobby and blotchy, and you can kind of see it in there. That was a fail, which is really sad because I love the design in the center. There's no way to save it, so I'm going to have to try and scrape it off. And then I think what I'm going to do is semi-gloss spray paint the whole thing black. And then I'm going to redo my pour in the middle. You know, just like that, and just leave it. Because I sort of want just this crazy design through here, but not the whole entire top. Because, you know, I'm gonna make a spot like where I can put a lamp or something, and it'll be in the black part. It'll look cool. So I have no clue how this is gonna scrape off, but here goes nothing. I gotta try and get back down to the base somehow. Oh, maybe it will completely scrape off easily. Or at least I just need to get it kind of smooth again so that I can put my black spray paint over. Well, so I scraped off all the paint, the acrylic paint, and then I tried spray painting this to see if I could salvage it. When I scraped off all the acrylic paint, it sort of ruined the finish because it's just laminated. But if you can see in here, all of it's not smooth at all. That is bumpy. And then this is like a boo-boo that happened in the finish, the laminate finish. So I think this piece is trashed. But I have some good news. Oh, baby, my woodworking skills are coming through, because look at this. I made a brand new top for it. And you know what? I'm kind of disappointed that I'm going to be painting this black and completely covering up all that beautiful wood grain. Look at that wood grain in there. I had thought about doing like a nice rich red stain and then doing my pour over that and leaving some of the, you know, like in this area, maybe some of the around the edges, leaving it just the stain. But that might look kind of weird since the rest of the thing is black. I don't know, but I think I'm going to do gloss, top coat of spray paint, you know, and then I'm going to do, on the other side, I'm going to do gloss. And this was, I don't know where that came from. This was just a piece of wood I had left over that I cut down to size. And I don't know why that hole is there like that. And it doesn't go all the way through. It's just curious. But I nicely rounded the edges, if you guys can see that. I know it probably doesn't show up very well, but it fits perfectly. Oh my gosh. Look. I mean, it's off center right now, but look at how that just fits on there perfectly. Wow. All right, so what I'm doing, I am starting my acrylic pour. I took some gold, and these are some test patterns that I was doing. Let me flip the kitchen light on so it's brighter in here. That's better. And I was doing some test patterns because I wanted to get some of this gold color, but with some sparkle to it. So these are sort of going from least amount to most. You tell me down in the comments below, which one do you like better? Let's get it more in the light. But anyways, that's one of my tests. And I tried it in this kind of a reddish, kind of like a burnt reddish color. I don't know if you want to call that cranberry. I think that's what they call it, but I didn't really care for it as much. But, you know, here it is with the glitter in the cup. And then this is the gold. And what you want to do is try and get the water to, I'm not using any kind of a pouring medium or, you know, Flow Tech. I'm not using Flow Tech. This is straight up water. And you want to kind of get it to where it runs kind of quickly off of the stick, kind of like it's doing now with the nice long string. Let me get a little bit of a zoom in. So you can see how it's just sort of running off kind of real fast. It's very liquidy, but not to the point where you've diluted the color too much, because I know if you put too much color in, I tried it, or if you put too much water in, the color gets all diluted and it's not real nice and vibrant. But I've got this green color that I'm going to use. I'm using this metallic. These are all metallics. Blue. This is my purple. I've not added any water in it. And what you want to do is, I've got this little teeny bottle. It's really tiny. And it just helps me to kind of pour little bits of water in at a time, because you don't want to do it all at once. Because if you do it too fast and put too much water in all at once, you need to kind of put a little bit of water in, then mix it in a little bit of water till you get the right consistency. And it helps prevent clumps and chunks and all that kind of stuff that you don't want. And bubbles. So here I put some water in, and then you just take your popsicle stick and you're just going to stir it until everything's all mixed up, and just test it for consistency. Okay, so I'm going to add my last little bit of water in so that they're all the same consistency. And just by dumping these paints out, I sort of figured that they were all the same consistency, because you can get some of these paints where they're more fluid than the others. You know, like one will be thicker body and then another will be light body, and they just move differently. But these all seemed kind of similar to each other, even though they're different brands and different styles. Like this is extra sheen, but this is just metallic, and this is just gloss. But anyway, so, and I want the black because I want to put a little bit of black in the mix, so that way we get some of that black kind of veining, swirling, and I can follow it up with gold, you know, to brighten up the darker areas. Because that's what I did before, and it seemed to work fantastic. In fact, the first pour was fantastic if it wasn't for that pesky black crap around the edge of it that didn't turn out right, because stupid me didn't do it right. But this is, you know, it's all trial and error. All right, you guys, here you can see my messy endeavors, and this is what I've got so far, all the screw-ups. I'm doing this outside in my garage just because, you know, I don't want to get my basement or studio messed up, and really I should be doing this inside where it's not so humid, because it is like probably 90% humidity right now. Ohio has just been rainy and wet and humid, and it's just not going to let up. So I'm just like, all right, here we go. It's mostly going to probably just affect the drying time. But I know sometimes they say if the conditions, temperatures and humidity and all that are wrong, it can cause the paint to do crazy things while it's drying, and then you'll get really pissed at the end results. Okay, so now what I want to do is take all of these colors and sort of layer them on top of each other. And I know there are a lot of ways you can do this. Some people just pour big blobs, one inside of the other, directly onto their working space, and I'm doing this on a table. Most people do this on canvases because they're doing it for artwork, but, you know, I'm doing it on a table. And, you know, it's all of this is trial and error, and being this is technically my second try at this, who knows what's going to come out of this? Right, and then all we have to do is move it around. Just shift the board back and forth. Okay, so one thing I don't like right now, there's not enough blue in it. So I'm gonna try and put some more blue in, just drizzling it through and then moving it around. Well, this is my third attempt at the acrylic pour, and I think I finally got the colors, and I'm getting the hang of the consistency, although I still needed to make it more runny than what I had, but still, I think this is turning out awesome. I spray painted with Krylon gloss, and although that didn't come out super perfect because there's like an area in here that's a little bit dull, the pour came out really nice. And all I did was use a little bit of this gold and a popsicle stick, and wherever I could see like the black flowing through, I would put a little bit of gold and kind of drag it through, barely, just barely, almost not even touching the surface, just enough to get it to kind of suck the paint off of the popsicle stick. And then you just sort of drag it and follow the natural flow of everything. And, you know, I did a few in here. And this just now needs to sit and dry for, 48 to 72 hours. It'll take a while. And then I can do my last step, which is epoxying, putting everything back together.
Yeah, so here you can see me cutting wood, and you're probably wondering, well, why? Well, painting laminated furniture doesn't always go so well, so I decided to just recreate the whole entire piece from scratch using actual hardwoods.
All right, you guys, I just wanted to give you a little update on how the project is going, how the nightstand is coming out. Now, I haven't shown you every single little bit of what I've done because otherwise the video would be like 2 hours long and no one wants to see that. So the last process I did, which I didn't show, was pouring on the epoxy resin top coat. It's literally, you get your epoxy resin, and I'll show you a picture here up on the screen of what I'm talking about. And it comes with equal parts, and you just mix equal parts of the resin and the hardener together. And literally all I did was I just went and poured it all on. It's self-leveling. I spread it all around, made sure everything was kind of even. I may not have mixed, it doesn't really show up in the thing, but I may not have mixed, oh, there, you can kind of see it right about in there, how it's kind of hazy a little bit. I may not have mixed the epoxy well enough. And of course, those are light bulb reflections from the ceiling because this is super, super shiny. It just gives it that nice, clear gloss look. And of course, I've got like, there's a little spot that doesn't show up like right in there that could have been filled in better, but overall, it's come out fantastic. And I did do a second one because I wasn't really sure about the colors in the first one and whether I might like the first one or the second one better, but you can leave a comment down below and let me know. Right now, the rest of the nightstand, I am working on clear coating that with my polyurethane, and it's out in the garage drying. We'll go take a look at that and see how that's coming. All right, you guys, so here is my working space for polyurethaning the nightstand that I'm working on. I know the lighting in here is kind of really terrible, but I'm using this Minwax spar urethane. I know it's meant for outdoors. It's meant to be a little more UV protective, but I'm using it just because it's a little cheaper, and you can use outdoor stuff inside. There's nothing saying you can't, but here is my drawer front and the finished result. It's probably still tacky, so it needs to dry a little bit longer. And then of course we have the nightstand over here. And in case the color doesn't come out right, it is pitch black. Let's see if we can get, I know the lighting makes it stupid, but it is there, it's black like that.
So here's the finished project. Boy oh boy was this trial and error. I mean, after all, this was my very first piece of furniture that I made from scratch. Originally, I was going to leave some areas of black on the top where I did the acrylic pour, but I kind of, eventually decided against that because it looks much better just being solid acrylic pour. I also realized that painting over cheap laminate crap furniture is not very easy to do, and it would just be a better idea to completely scrap the whole thing and start over from scratch. So this is the end result. This is the final product. I absolutely love the metallics. I love how they just add that little bit of sparkle along with the gold streaking throughout just to kind of brighten the piece up. I also added this gold handle to the drawer front to kind of tie in with the gold streaks throughout the tabletop. The only thing I ended up using from the original nightstand was the drawer itself, along with the side rails that the drawer slides into, because I just figured if you don't get the dimensions absolutely perfect on that, then the drawer won't slide in and out properly, and I wasn't even going to begin to try and recreate the drawer with such precise measurements. Here you can see, there it is with the light on, and you can kind of see all the gloss and all the shine. It's absolutely awesome. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this piece. That's going to do it for this episode of Try This. Thank you everyone for coming along to check out this awesome nightstand build, and I'll see you in the next episode.